Sportsisten.com.
Fedor, how difficult is it for you to prepare for a fight when you just had a child born at home and having to leave home just when that happened?
Ну, основная нагрузка прошла уже давно. Конечно, было и тяжело, и радостно, с одной стороны. То есть радость ожидания, что вот-вот случится пополнение в нашей стране, в нашей семье. Вот. Ну, ничего. Вернемся, наверстаем упущенное время. Я буду рядом со своей семьей.
Well, most of the difficult training had happened a while ago, so it wasn't that difficult for that. But certainly, it was both tough and happy to leave during that period of time. But again, happy because there was another member of our family, a new member of our family. The addition was definitely something that's very wonderful. But it's okay. I'll return and. My family will all be together soon, and we'll all be celebrating soon.
When Fedor was leaving in 2007 for Japan to fight a Japanese fighter, his first daughter was born, and now his second one was born at the same time, the same situation. There was any magical, superstitious things in those?
Нет, я в этом никакого суеверия не вижу, но если так Господь дает, ну, значит, надо пройти такое испытание. Конечно, я хотел бы быть рядом сейчас с моей женой, но она понимает, что то, что я делаю, это делаю прежде всего для нас.
No, I don't see any superstition in it. You know, God has blessed us with our children, and of course, it would be nice to be close to my wife right now. But she understands. She understands that I have a job to do, and that most importantly, I do it for our family.
How hard and how easy is it to have your boyfriend and your trainer by your side?
Well, I think Brian and I have a really unique bond in that we share a similar passion. So, I mean, there's always pros and cons to every situation, but I definitely think that the pros outweigh the cons. You know, he just understands the process that I'm going through, the weight cutting, and he's there to support me through thick and thin, and, you know, I see it as a benefit. He's there as my rock, and I definitely appreciate him being there.
You know, right now there's some dialogue going internally about, you know, what happens with the 170-pound title, and it's an ongoing discussion tomorrow. So, you know, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this fight, and we'll have something for you guys maybe in another month or so.
Most consider the Carano Cyborg fight in 2009 to be the most important fight in female MMA history, but if you weren't a women's MMA fan, you probably weren't checking out that fight. Considering the fact that this fight, your fight, is the co-main event, you know, right behind probably the biggest fight in Strikeforce or Showtime MMA history, do you feel as though this one's a little more important in terms of the growth of women's MMA?
Yeah, you know, I think especially since we've merged under the Zuffa umbrella that we're going to be getting a lot more eyes watching us, and I think that this is going to be kind of a big mile marker in the evolution of women's MMA. You know, we're going to have two top talented 135-pound representatives, and I think that Marloes and myself are going to put on a great fight, and it's important that we do so. You know, I'm really motivated to be exciting, to be entertaining, and you know, I'm hoping for a war so that we can really say, you know, this is what women's MMA is all about, and have a good representation. So it's definitely a very important fight. Yeah.
With Tyron Woodley. Tyron, you were on my radio show earlier this week, and obviously you know Paul Daly as much as he's a hard hitter. He also is good at the talking. I just want to get your reaction to things that, you know, Paul Daly has said about you and what you think about this fight. And then Paul, I'd like to get your take on fighting Woodley on Saturday and the importance of this fight. So Tyron, maybe start with you.
I think Paul's an amazing fighter. Obviously, he's known for what he does. But my mom told me a long time ago, I'm not to say anything, and I really don't go by what people say. I go by what they do. So, you know, in this fight, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's a great matchup. It's a great career opportunity for myself. So I'm just going out there. I'm going out there prepared to win. And you know, obviously, hopefully, you know, you do believe in yourself. Everybody should believe in himself. And if you know the remarks that he said, you know, I haven't read a ton of them, but if that's what it takes for him to get himself up, you know, have at it. But for myself, I'm, you know, pretty internally motivated. You know, I think it's a great opportunity. I think our styles are great for the fans. You know, I think this is going to be one of the best fights on the card, and I'm just really pumped about the opportunity.
Paul?
I don't think I've said too much about Woodley, really.
Not so much, but you know what I mean? You said Josh Koscheck is a better, you know, just you're selling the fight, but I'm just wondering what you think of him as an opponent and what kind of fight you see.
Woodley's definitely a top guy, and I think Strikeforce have done the right thing in building him up. For me, he's like the Titanic that spent a lot of time building him up, and putting him in there with me is kind of unpredictable, because I'm the iceberg. And you know, they spent all this time building up this big Titanic ship. He's all great, he's going to be the champion, no disrespect to Woodley, and they think we're going to stick him in there with a striker, and Woodley's just going to take him down and hold him there. But I'm going to, you know, pull off the upset. It's iceberg time.
Yeah, well said. Also, a question for Scott Smith and Tarek Safady. You guys get a chance to really set the tone for the card. And Scott, we've been down this road many times. Have you learned the art of head movement yet, my friend?
Yeah, I have. I got my boxing coach here, Black Thunder. He's really been working on my movement. Yeah, I've worked on all aspects of my game. You know, I've had some injuries in the past couple of years. It's kept me from even sparring right, from grappling right, and I feel healthy. You know, this time off has been good, and I think I'm going to come in there bigger, stronger, better than ever. Tarek's a great opponent. I think it's a great opening fight to a great card. What about the fact that you were looking again to reinvent yourself at 170? I mean, you know, you're a family man. You've been through the wars. How's the weight cut been? I've had worse weight cuts at 185. I don't like cutting a pound, but you know, it's been tough, but I feel great. Tarek, obviously an opportunity for you now too, coming from challengers. Talk about not only facing Scott Smith, but being on the same card as your legendary coach now on a, you know, with two of the all-time greats. What's this mean to you?
It definitely means a lot to me. So I want to thank Zuffa and Strikeforce for, you know, putting me on the main card. I'm really honored to be here, and especially next to my mentor and training partner Dan. So I'm definitely excited for the fight a great opponent like Scott Smith. He has been around for a long time, and we are both striker, and it's going to be exciting for the fans. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I train really hard and smart for the fight, and just I can't wait to be Saturday night.
Gymgrossisten.com